welcome you all. In this video, we'll continue our discussion of macroeconomics. So here we'll discuss about quantity theory of money. So in the last video, we have seen the quantity theory of money, which was based on the transaction value of money. It means the money considered as a medium of exchange. Here, this is the second theory given by Cambridge economists. So now the first question is, who are the Cambridge economists? So first of all, Alfred Marshall and A.C. Pigou. Alfred Marshall and A.C. Pigou, both considered as a Cambridge economist. They were of the opinion that money has another function. It means in the theory of Fisher's transaction demand for money, the only role which was given to money was a medium of exchange. So here in this theory, that is Cambridge approach, we have given another aspect, that is money is a store of value. According to them, money depends on the value of its purchasing power. If we talk about the value of money, it means how much money buys. For example, if we consider the rupee value, that is the same 100 rupees in the 2017 and the same 100 rupees in 2007. So there must be a different value of these two. That consists of the real purchasing power of the same rupee. So if we consider a store of value, it means money can be treated as an asset. So this is one of the major development over and above the theory of Irving Fisher, that is the Fisher's transaction approach. So here Cambridge economists was of the opinion that store of value is the major function. So now what depends on this thing? If we talk about the production of the goods and services selling in the market, it depends for demand for and its supply of its product. It means whatever you are producing, it is already related with the demand for and the supply of this product. Now on the same lines, the talking about money is also depends on the how much money demanded and how much it is supplied by the authority. It means supply is fixed according to the central bank. So we consider a store of value is the most important part. Now they have given another dimension to this quantity theory of money, that is demand for and supply of money. So here we will write the equation. So MD is equals to, that is K Py. Now we will write what are these meanings. So where Y is your income, P is your price. Here Py is equals to nominal income. Nominal income. Here the K means proportion of nominal income. Proportion of a nominal income which people or which an individual wants to hold. It means this K, small k, is a proportion of this nominal income. For example, the nominal income is $100. If we consider about this proportion, suppose this proportion is 0.40. So it means the 40% of this nominal income, people wants to hold money in their hand. So that is why this is very important, K. Here we consider MD is the same, that is money demanded. So this completes the discussion of this equation. Now we consider the most important part here, the meaning of K. So according to some economists, this K is similar to the V, that is velocity in the Fisher's transaction approach. So many economists were of the opinion the V of the Fisher's transaction approach, in that Fisher took money as a medium of exchange. Here K is the proportion of this national income that people wants to hold. So that's why K is equals to 1 by V. This is found by modern economists. So they said that K and V are similar in these two theories. So if we replace this K with 1 by V, here we can write MD 1 by V Py. But according to this, MG, that is money demanded, it means whatever the money demanded is supplied from the authority, that is central bank of any country. So that is why we can write like this: M is the total supply. So the demand for money is equal with the supply of money. That is why we can replace this MD with M. So 1 by V upon Py. Now we consider these things. We can take V at the left hand side. So MV is equals to Py. Now you remember this equation in the last video. We have seen that the income version of the Fisher's transaction theory, we got this equation, that is why MV and Py. So this arrives at the same situation, so we can write like this, that smaller k is equals to 1 upon V. Smaller k works as the same when we consider V in the Fisher's transaction approach. Now these two are major factors. If we consider about the differences between these two, first of all, Fisher's approach and Cambridge. Here in the first thing, that consider money as a medium of exchange. Here the Cambridge economist consider money as a store of value. Here the second point, according to Fisher, the equation is of a mechanical nature. But according to the Cambridge, it is of a behavioral nature. It means their K depends on the behavior, but their V depends on the mechanical equation. So these two are the major difference between the Fisher's transaction approach and the Cambridge approach. Hope you like this video. This is a short version of this Cambridge economist and Cambridge cash balance approach. Please like, share and subscribe this channel and this video also. If you have any doubt, recommendation or feedback, you can mention in the comment box. If you want any suggestion, anything you want to connect with Ecoholics, you can also mention in the comment box. Hope you like this video. Please see other videos of macroeconomics. There are n number of videos on this macroeconomic subject. Please go to the playlist section. Once again, please visit our Facebook page and the LinkedIn profile, also the Twitter account of Ecoholics. Once again, thank you so much. Have a nice day.